and so many others, too many, I'm proud to say, here today. But to all of you, thank you for your passion and your persistence and continuing to give Brittany and so many others a voice. We salute you. So, in being asked to address you all here today, I called Brittany and asked her if there was anything she would like me to say on her behalf. And her immediate answer was yes. But yesterday, Brittany decided not to have me read the words. Instead, Brittany wanted to say those words herself. In person, right here on this stage. So, ladies and gentlemen, it is my enormous honour to introduce to you all one of the most courageous women I know, Miss Brittany Higgins.
Would you back off? I speak to you today out of necessity. We are all here today, not because we want to be here, but because we have to be here. We fundamentally recognise the system is broken, the glass ceiling is still in place, and there are significant failings in the power structures within our institutions. We are here because it's unfathomable that we are still having to fight this same stale, tired fight. As it's been said before, time can be used constructively or destructively. Human progress rarely rolls on inevitability. It is through dedication and effort that we move forward. When we fall asleep at the wheel, what tends to happen is that time becomes an ally of those who seek stagnation. We regress. It is the custodians of the status quo keeping the existing order alive. To see real progress, we must seek it out. I am cognizant of all the women who continue to live in silence, the women who are faceless, the women who don't have the mobility, the confidence, or the financial means to share their truth. Those who don't see their images and stories reflected in the media, those who are sadly no longer with us. Those who have lost their sense of self-worth and are unable to break their silence, all of which is rooted in the shame and stigma of sexual assault. 1 out of every 5 women in Australia will be sexually assaulted or raped in their lifetime. If you're a woman of colour, those statistics are even higher. Thanks to Chanel Contos, we now know how rife this sort of behaviour is in our schools. There is a confronting sense of banality about sexual violence in our community. I was raped inside Parliament House by a colleague, and for so long it felt like the people around me only cared because of where it happened and what it might mean for them. It was so confusing because these people were my idols. I had dedicated my life to them. They were my social network, my colleagues, and my family. And suddenly they'd treated me differently. I wasn't a person who'd just gone through a life-changing traumatic event. I was a political problem. Amanda Vanstone, a former Liberal minister, summed it up the other day. If there was a young girl alleging she had been raped in a different office, would it be on the front page? No, it wouldn't. I think Miss Vanstone's missing the point. There is a horrible societal acceptance about sexual violence experienced by women in Australia. My story was on the front page for the sole reason that it is a painful reminder to women that if it can happen in Parliament House, it can truly happen anywhere. These past few weeks on a personal level have been extremely difficult. Like many of you, I've watched this all play out in the media. I watched it happen via a laptop from a spare bedroom in my dad's apartment on the Gold Coast. I watched as the Prime Minister of Australia publicly apologised to me through the media, while privately his team actively discredited and undermined my loved ones. I tuned into Question Time to see my former bosses, people that I dedicated my life to, deny and downplay my lived experience. I read the news updates every day at 5 a.m. because I was waking up to new information about my own sexual assault through the media. Details that were never disclosed to me by my employers. Information that would have helped me answer questions that have haunted me for years. I watched as people hid behind throwaway phrases like due process and presumption of innocence, while failing to acknowledge how the justice system is notoriously stacked against victims of sexual crimes. I read the advice from Defence Chief Angus Campbell, who advised women on how not to fall prey to those harm others. Advice aimed solely at modifying the behaviour of victims and does nothing to address the actions of perpetrators. I was dismayed by senior male journalists who routinely implied that my partner was pulling the strings behind the scenes. The subtle inference being that a traumatised woman wasn't capable of weaponising her own story. I watched as advocates on the macro level disappear when the issue hit too close to home at the micro level. I had my suspicions confirmed when the media exposed the long list of people who knew about what had happened to me. A list that seemed to grow by the day, as truths about internal reviews, Senate committee submissions, office cleans and witness accounts were all unearthed. These are the people making our laws and governing the country. As our leaders, they should be the exemplar, the gold standard. Sadly, this just isn't the case. If they aren't committed to addressing these issues in their own offices, what confidence can the women of Australia have that they will be proactive in addressing this issue in the broader community? This isn't a political problem. This is a human problem. We've all learned over the past few weeks just how common gendered violence is in this country. It's time our leaders on both sides of politics stop avoiding the subject and sidestepping accountability. It's time we actually address the problem. I decided to resign and share my story because it was the only thing I felt I could do to say that I didn't co-sign this behaviour. That I don't believe what happened was right, that I don't believe a brochure is adequate support, that I don't believe people should be isolated, intimidated, and ignored after traumatic incidents inside the workplace. I came forward with my story to hopefully protect other women. No one...
Thank you!
By staying silent, I felt like it would have made me complicit. And if something of this nature had ever happened here again, my ongoing silence would have inadvertently said to those people in charge that you can treat people in this way and it's okay. I want to be clear, it's not. So I have spoken out with what little I have to say that this isn't okay and they need to do better. We all need to do better. I encourage each and every one of you to set boundaries for yourself and be ruthless in your defense of them. Speak up, share your truth, and know that you have a generation of women ready, willing, and able to support you. Take ownership of your story and free yourself from the stigma of shame. Together, we can bring about real, meaningful reform to the workplace culture inside Parliament House and hopefully every workplace to ensure the next generation of women can benefit from a safer and more equitable Australia.
Resistance inside of you, let it burn, let it slowly burn. Oh, you're back, Mandy. Lovely to see you. That's great. Claire and Mandy subbing out. What an extraordinary day. We continue with some extraordinary women who have so much to say to this. We're all here again, as I said earlier today, women doing the work. Our next speakers are a duo coming up together. Biff Ward is a founding member of the Canberra Women's Liberation. She provided training and education on sexual harassment, prevention and case handling. She's one of the brain hussies. She is a writer and an activist. Please welcome Biff Ward and Virginia Hausiger AM is a broadcast journalist and commentator. She's founding director and chair of the 50/50 by 2030 Foundation at the University of Canberra. Please make them both very welcome, Biff and Virginia.
This is a huge crowd and you look fabulous. Give yourselves a proper hand. You've been standing in the sun a long time.
No, I haven't. I only got here like an hour or something.
I thank the Ngunnawal and Ngambri people for welcoming us so graciously and fierily to share this land for our event here today. Land that was never ceded and has been cared for carefully and wisely by them from time immemorial. My t-shirt means that I've made it here today from the crucible of the 70s. And there's quite a few of us down here in the front. And probably throughout the crowd, the grandmothers, whom I hope like me are proud to claim their age. I'm 78. Because of that history, I have a little bit of it's in my bones, and I want to just cover some of that. While enormous change has happened very quickly in this country in the last 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 3 months, it actually began with some of the seeds that we sowed in the 70s. it was that movement that came up with a lot of new language. Words like sexism for a start, and came up, Susan Ryan came up with a legal definition of sexual harassment, which made people discuss it all over the country. Rape mythology, the very existence of child sexual abuse, rape crisis centres. And I see that those seeds we sowed have flowered here today into this, what I'm calling the Great Uprising. And I have to tell you, I've been crying for weeks because I thought I would never live to see this day. So after our seeds were sown, there's a bit of history. There were films. Jodie Foster's Accused in 98, if you've never seen it, yes. Thelma and Louise in 91. There have been many books. Nafissatou Diallo was a Haitian maid in New York who took on the head of the IMF, a man destined to be the president of France, who had mauled her in his hotel room and left semen on her shirt. Just think of that, on her shirt rather than her skirt even. She won $600,000 from him. Rolf Harris in jail. Don Burke disappeared. Then some women in Hollywood went after that man. And in the land of public opinion, and in most of the media, those women were believed. That was the first time in my lifetime I really saw that. After 40 years of modern feminist thinking, those women were completely believed. And that changed everything. I believe that's the turning point for why we're here today. It was literally a moment of revolution. And it's led to what feels like a tidal wave of rage sweeping the land. I'm sure you came here because you're angry. Liz O'Brien, whom I think is here today somewhere, she used to love to say, imagine a road full of women, each carrying a rolling pin, those old wooden ones, and they've completely lost their temper. And you don't even have to ask why. So I want to talk a bit about rage and how we can keep going, which I've learned a bit about. Rage can light fires and ignite change. Rage also burns and destroys. There are handmaidens, I call them originally, and now I call them companions to rage. Things that help us handle our rage and keep going. Compassion is one of them. Compassion is the emotion we feel when we are using our skill of empathy, and we've heard about deep, quiet listening already. We are driven by our compassion for all who identify as women anywhere in the world. Compassion fills our hearts for what has been happening to women, and compassion holds our grief, our very tender grief. Hope. Hope comes from our ability to imagine a different world. Susan Griffin wrote, "There is a world without rape, and that world is in our minds." I'm going to say that again. There is a world without rape because that world is in our minds. You can take that home with you. So compassion and hope interweave and wind around our rage and our anger. And that, for me, leads to sisterhood. What is that? Sisterhood was a big deal in the 70s. Sisterhood is understanding that the personal is political. Sisterhood is supporting each other no matter what. And sisterhood is battling together for change. Sisterhood is what's happening here today. We will achieve justice for women. It's going to take a while, I hate to tell you, by ensuring our compassion and our hope receive space and air to breathe so that we can maintain our rage. We have reached critical mass. Look. The days of the patriarchy are numbered. We're counting down. Sisterhood is powerful.
I stand here on the shoulders of every single brazen hussy. We all do. We stand here on the shoulders of all those women who've come before us, those women whose own fury and anger once ignited powerful legislative progress. Australia once was a proud leader when it came to women's rights. We passed the first Sex Discrimination Act in the world. That bill back in 1984 outlawed sexual harassment in the workplace. What the hell happened? When did we stop looking? When did politicians, lawmakers, justices of the High Court, teachers, when did Australians turn a blind eye? Australia's early progress on women's empowerment has ground to a halt. Now, when it comes to gender equality, Australia's global ranking is shameful. And if that doesn't make you angry, you are not paying attention. There can be this is our parliament. This is our house. This is our democracy. And a true, trustworthy, accountable democracy will only work when women are equal partners, equal leaders, equal players in shaping, reforming and rebuilding our democratic place. Yes, I say rebuilding. I say rebuilding because right now it is broken. We cannot trust this place. Not while it operates like a shameful boys-only locker room. Is it really any wonder that we are here because we are angry? There can be no end to Australia's systemic misogyny in government, in law, in policy, in every single aspect of our lives, while women remain secondary. While women remain the support act to men, subordinate to men. This must stop now. Enough is enough. As you've heard, we'll come to that. I've got to race through. As you have heard today, women's anger has deep and ancient roots in this place. But there is positive power in our anger and in our rage. This is a crystallising moment for Australia's women. But as a nation, we must get this right. We must hear the myriad and complex reasons as to why women are so deeply aggrieved and angry. And if those in power who currently hold the political levers fail to act, well, God help Australia. The genesis for this new, energised movement with long decades of work from others. The genesis of this movement comes from way back yonder, but you know what? We are not finished yet.
Adjusting this might make any difference. I mean, I love it. It's such a good roadie. I love all that work. So what? You know what? We put pen to paper, and so now we're going to make it official. So I'm going to call up Kate and Anita to make a presentation to Tanya and Larissa with the amazing Janine Hendry standing.
We started a petition which now represents the voices of about 94,000 people. So we are members of Doctors Against Violence Towards Women, and we're a group of over 7 dedicated to preventing violence against women and also to supporting the survivors. So we, like all of you, want everything to be better right now for women. We want violence and abuse to stop. We want a justice system that supports victims rather than re-traumatising them. And we want women to reach the same height career ladder. We want society to reshape itself to cater for women's needs as well as men's. But today we start with 2 tangible demands. We want women to be safe in Parliament House, and we want an inquiry into the rape allegations against the Attorney General. To know that their representatives care about their safety, their well-being and their success. And today, with 94,000 voices, we demand equity and we demand justice.
Could our representatives come to the stage, please? Note that we invited all of our leaders to come here, and we gratefully acknowledge Tanya and Larissa accepting our offer to accept this petition.
Professional. Ladies and gentlemen, it's signed and it's going and it's posted and it's off. Very nice. And so now, off to work. We're actually going to go do some work in that house, as you do, because there's no mucking around, ever. And just quietly, I acknowledge and delighted to see that the first ever woman's advisor to a Prime Minister, Elizabeth Reid, is with us today, right at the front. I salute you, Elizabeth Reid. Yes, show us one. Rushing down the door. What a good idea Gothicklam had there.
Saw that.
Just an idea. Came to him, went, what the hell? I know nothing about them. Maybe I'll get someone who does. And did. Students, Just a couple of more speeches and then we will let you out into Canberra to taste her coffee delights, I'm sure. These fabulous students are from ANU. Ava Darawala is a third-year ANU student studying politics, philosophy and economics. Oh, there's a bit of an ANU crowd over there. She's the 2021 ANU Women's Officer representing the interests of women and non-binary students to the ANU and ANU Student Association. And she will be with Maddie Chia. She's a third-year ANU student studying law, good, international securities, good. And she's the 2021 ANUSA Education Officer representing the interests of the broader undergraduate student body. Please make them very, very welcome!
The lands on which we are protesting were stolen from the Ngunnawal and Ngambri peoples. The government we are protesting was formed on illegal grounds. Sovereignty was never ceded. And this land always was and always will be Aboriginal land.
We also want to acknowledge the importance of centering First Nations voices in this feminist movement and paying respect to the tireless efforts, particularly of Black women in this fight. My name is Ava Darawala and I'm the Women's Officer at ANU. I'm 20 years old and I'm here today because staying silent was not an option. It's really, really scary to be up here. There are so many people and it's also... And it's also really scary to see so many people and know that so many of you are survivors and so many of you have been let down and betrayed by this system.
My name is Maddie Chia and I'm the Education Officer at ANU. I just turned 20 and I'm here today because I became a survivor during O Week of my first year of uni at 17. I am standing before you because I do not want my younger sister, who is 16, to go through the same things that I did. We should feel protected as women.
We're incredibly grateful to be here today to provide a voice for young people, for women of colour and for all intersectional feminists. This is a movement that won't survive without all women and non-binary people. Intersectional feminism is the future and we need to see more.
We march for justice today because we stand with survivors. We stand with trans survivors. We stand with sex workers. We stand with those who have historically and consistently been silenced and neglected. We stand with all survivors today.
As young people, this is why Maddie and I are here. We are too young to be standing here alongside these incredible women, knowing that for the rest of our lives we are going to have to fight for our safety and bodily autonomy. We are too young to be unsurprised by these reports of gendered violence. And yet we are. We aren't shocked, we're pessimistic. We've been taught to accept toxic masculinity as the norm. We are too young to be called angry feminists just for calling out blatantly violent behaviour and standing up for our basic human rights.
We are too young to know that the government doesn't take survivors seriously, as Brittany Higgin beautifully put it before. We are too young to know that we will be blamed for our own assaults and that rape apologists will be protected. It's not stressful environments, what we wear, alcohol, or anything like that that is responsible for our assaults. It's the perpetrators. This toxic culture that we call normal absolutely needs to change, and we are the future for that. We are too young to have lost faith in the justice system and the reporting process. The deep-rooted patriarchal values of our society has meant that survivors must not only suffer personally, physically, emotionally, but also professionally.
As students, we are scared. We see a mirroring of institutional betrayal in Parliament House as we've experienced firsthand in our educational institutions.
We can't help but feel defeated by the system that feels rigged against us. A system in which there seems there's no eventual end to discouragement and betrayal from institutions that are meant to protect us. That place is meant to protect all us, but it's not.
The Prime Minister is not your ally. Parliament House is not your ally. Lawmakers are not your allies. What have they done to show that allyship? Nothing. Over and over again. Cover-ups, silencing of survivors, protection of perpetrators, victim blaming and slut shaming. We have high hopes but no expectations.
They have no incentive to protect us whatsoever. So let's give them one, ladies and gentlemen. It's time for them to be held accountable. It's time for truth and justice.
Look to your left and look to your right.
These are your allies.
We love you.
We believe you.
And we're here for you.
We stand with survivors.
Do not underestimate a woman of any age, I should imagine, is the message there. Oh, so extraordinary. Well, you know what? The arts, industry's been decimated. I literally don't have any work. So I'm making myself available to all the young ones to, photocopy, fax, whatever you need. Get coffees. I've literally got nothing to do, so call me. Well, who knew that all of you would be here today? Because our final speaker today is the woman that got the ball rolling in the first place. She is a mother, an academic, a strategist and an entrepreneur. The incredible woman who got us this started. Please welcome Janine Hendry.
Can I start off by saying, enough is enough. And I have to say, I thought this was going to be just me and a few friends. So, Jo, Sally, Marjolaine, sorry, but I brought along a few others today. I know that you've been listening for a long time, so I'm just going to talk for 3 or 4 minutes. But I do want to acknowledge the amazing team of people that came alongside me to put 42 rallies together today. In particular, I want to acknowledge the wonderful, wonderful Georgie Dent, who was working behind the scenes. Georgie, my heart felt thank you. I also want to focus on what actions we need to take now. But before I do that, I want to tell you a little bit about me. I'm a single mum, and I've got a 16-year-old who I'm about to launch into the world. And I want for him to have great role models. I want for him to be the kind of person that treats all people with compassion, with dignity, and with respect. I want for him and everyone to live in an environment of equality. So when I saw a young person courageously stepping up and taking action, I thought, well, if they can do it, so can I. So I sent a tweet, and here you all are. As I see it, there are 3 things that we need, and we need them now. We need equality regardless of who you are. We also need systematic change from our government, from our lawmakers, and from our employers. And the other thing we need is measurable cultural and attitudinal change towards women and towards those who don't have power. So what can we do now? Well, if you were to have felt empowered in the face of bad behaviour, what if, when you saw the abuse of others, you felt empowered enough to stand up and say, enough is enough? We also need to empower our bureaucracy to make the necessary changes to the system so that I'm not standing here in another 40 years trying to create change. So if you're a boss or you're a politician, you're a lawmaker or a law enforcer, if you are the one with power and you know who you are, then we request that you use that power to change the systems that is keeping the rest of them down. Because here's the thing about equity. It's not a thing that diminishes. My equity does not diminish your equity. Pretty magical that way. It's a gift that just keeps on giving. So I'm going to stand here and say, once again, enough is enough. It's time to take action right here, right now.
Thank you, Janine. Yes, we can make a change. And just finally, an invitation from the Tent Embassy from Diane for all of you. Please welcome Diane to the stage.
Here at Demerara, you and Diane Coe. What I've said is, good day, my name is Diane Coe, and that's in Wiradjuri language. What I'd like to ask here today is, why are we still practicing a system, a culture that isn't meant for us? I come from a matriarch system, where I know what would have happened if those men done that to our women back then. For 200 years plus, we've been putting up with invasion. Invasion not of only us women, but invasion on our children, on our land. They have no respect for themselves. How are they going to have a respect for us? So today I'm going to ask you all, see Scott Morrison? Ask him to step down. He's not doing no good for us. He has never had any of us out of our best interests or our well-being. So Scott Morrison, go on! After this, I'd like to welcome you all down to the Tent Embassy for a smoking ceremony, if you like, because we need to smoke the negative energy off us from this place up here.
Thank you, Diane. You speak for so many. So maybe today you've been galvanised. Perhaps today you've even been socialised. Woo, we're out because it's COVID finished. Maybe you've been politicised. I don't know. But when I look back on this house, you know, I want to think that it's a place where productive things can happen. You know, we can't keep longing for leaders like Jacinda Ardern because she's got a job. She's amazing, but she's got a job. Because I know there is a Jacinda Ardern out here or there. But she needs to be able to look at that house and say, this inspires me, I find this a compelling place to work, and will I be safe? People think that other stories are going to suck the oxygen out of this march today. Well, they're wrong, because our lungs are full. Now, you may have met new friends today. I really hope you have, or maybe you've reconnected with friends. And I think, get that little circle or that cabal, as I like to call it, and keep that little cabal going within your communities, your industry, your workspaces. You can see how Jane Hendry made something happen and people joined. Keep that going. Take an hour today to write to politicians of all stripes. Do it in a group. It's way more fun. Both locally and federally. Bake a cake, have a thing, have a smoke, whatever. Our lungs are full. Hear us roar. This continues, but women, you know that's always been the case. It's always had to continue. I want you to take care when you leave today. Look after one another. Make friends. And I'd like to invite all the speakers up back on stage for a final applause and a photo. Thank you so much for coming, Women and Allies.
Georgie, we'd like to see you up on the stage as well, please. Behaviour. Remember, you're all empowered by the amazing speakers that we heard here today. Take that with you, hold on to that strength, and we know that we can change the cultural landscape of Australia. We have drawn a line in the sand, and we've stated very clearly, we are not going to put up with this anymore. Thank you for coming.
And if anybody needs a place to rest and have a rest, you can also go to Moad down in Old Parliament House. I mean, I'll be honest, I didn't know that much about it, but it sounds great. You go down there and there's a book you can sign to write your experiences down, because they will be collecting stories of women who came here today, because it's been such a big day. So if you've got the energy, but also it's lovely and shady down there, down to Moad, M-O-A-D, to do a little bit of signing. Okay, great, fantastic, as you were.
Okay, everybody, if you're still hanging around, we haven't had a good chant. Here's some oldies, but some goodies. So join in. What do we want? When do we want it? Now. What do we want? Justice. When do we want it? Now. What do we want? Justice. When do we want it? Now. What do we want? Justice. When do we want it? Now. Hey, 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 hey. Christian Potter's got to go. Hey, hey. Oh. Christian Potter's got to go. Hey, hey. Ho, ho. Christian Potter's got to go. Hey, hey. Ho, ho. Christian Potter's got to go. Hey, hey. Ho, ho. Christian Potter's got to go. Hey, hey. Ho, ho. Christian Potter's got to go. Hey, hey. Ho, ho. got to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho. Sweetie Nicholas have got to go. No more silence, no more lies. We will not be victimized. No more silence, no more lies. We will not be victimized. No more silence, no more lies. We will not be victimized. No more silence, no more lies. We will not be victimized. Survivors, united, will never be divided. 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 Oh, hello. Oh, hello. How are you? Okay, everybody, couple of PSAs. Please take your stuff with you. Your rubbish and your belongings. This is sacred Ngunnawal and Ngambri land. Your crap doesn't belong here. And the National Library wants all these amazing signs. We're going to have an exhibition so these bastards will never forget us. So you go to the National Library and you leave what you have spent so much time and rage creating, and we're going to have an exhibition. I'm also looking for some keys for a lovely lady. If anyone's got some keys, please come up to the stage. Okay. Also, huge shout out to Amnesty. They've been absolutely phenomenal helping us organise this today. You want to keep this going? Janine said, go home inspired. Join Amnesty. There will be actions. This is not the end of it. Volunteer, donate, help Amnesty, who is an amazing organisation here in Canberra, help us keep this going. Please visit the tent over here and give generously of your time and your money.
And show you some signs.
And just a shout out for Women for Election. Lycia Heath didn't actually endorse this statement, but just remember, we need more women in that house, and it sucks. It's not safe, but we're never going to change things until we get up there. So go and look up Women for Election Australia. They will help you get there. So just PSA, you're welcome, Lycia Heath.
There you go.
Oh, you are here.
Trying to control.
Yeah, exactly. So here we go. This is the woman. She runs an extraordinary organisation, WELA. Look it up right now. Oh, WFEA. Oh, Wella was the other thing, wasn't it? God. That's why she doesn't pay me to do these ads, because I'm a bit shit at them. Anything else? You got any other no.
I think that's about it. Probably got a parking ticket. I don't know what time it is. But check once I tell myself.
When is it? Okay, here. All right, now you guys know how to get here and how to park, and what a beautiful, beautiful location it is. There's another protest here at 10:55. We told you guys this is not the end. 10:55, we are protesting against poverty, and it is the unemployed
10:55.
Unemployed Workers Union here, 10:55. They're going to have a stage, they're going to have some sound. Rock up, and let's remember, while any one of us is oppressed, none of us are free. So we need to get together and really make sure that we're supporting those other groups with the same values we have.
Alright, I think that's about it.
Hi, on behalf of all of the incredible people who came down my March for Justice, I want to say thank you. I want to say thank you to each and every single one of you, from our social media department, logistics, every single one of you. You're more than loved and supported, and we will keep going. It has been hard.
Walk back out to the garage. Side shot of them all streaming down. I wonder how many of them. I've got to go past the 10 Embassy to get back to my car. I'm surprised battery hasn't gone flat on the big one yet. I don't know what the diminution the music. Oh, look. And another refugee one. They usually have one for the refugees on Palm Sunday though. They must be expecting things to... I have too much gear with me today. It's awkward. Next protest. Show me this how it goes. China closed the camps. Oh, that looks interesting. Well, I didn't already have a parking ticket, I imagine. The genocide of the Uyghurs. Let's see how I go when I get down here. Took a sorry about that clanging. I'm not quite sure what's flapping like that. You can see there's quite a crowd of them. Yeah. I'll leave it on till I get down to the tent embassy, I guess. I need to reorganise my gear though. I'll leave that till I'm sure I can manage. Sound would be useless, but what was that yelling, I wonder? I don't know what that supposed music is up there. But anyway. Looks like there's actually quite a few people going up for the one, which is good. Let's see, if I'd known, I would have just got an all-day ticket rather than one for a couple of hours. It's that one. I see. So it's Old Parliament House for anyone who's not familiar. And well, you can't really see it past the trees, but up there's Parliament House. The roads must be opening back up. Oh, my handle, uh-oh. Senate Rose Garden behind that hedge. I think it's the Senate. I think it's called the Senate one. From memory.
Now I know.
It's turned into quite a warm day. That's the Senate Gardens, the Senator's Gate. All those roses smell nice in the heat. Damn it, camera bag keeps banging on the tripod. So across the road is the Aboriginal Tent Embassy. Where they're having a smoking ceremony. Just walk down and have a I've actually been down here for other things. They're doing a smoking ceremony.